Time is moving very fast. Let's see how many books I have read in the month of September. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel Trishita Reads. I am Trishita and in today's video I will be talking about all of the books that I have finished reading in the month of September. And let me tell you guys, this month was amazing in terms of reading. I have read 15 books in total, which is absolutely amazing. And in this video I will be talking about those books, which books I liked and which books I didn't, why I loved them and why I didn't. So grab your cup of coffee and let's start with the video. As always, I will be talking about the books that I did not like first and then I will slowly move towards the books that I loved reading in this month. So here comes the first book that I absolutely did not like, and the book's name is Set in Stone by Stella Brenzeniu. I have given this book 1.5 stars. This is a captivating historical romance set in the medieval Moldova where two women fall in love with each other and they defy societal expectations and fight for their love, their freedom, and their right to choose their destiny. Sounds interesting, right? Unfortunately, that is the only thing that was good about this book. The plot of this book was very promising, but unfortunately, the plot was rather very underdeveloped. The premise of this book definitely gives a unique perspective to readers because one, the theme of this book is not talked about much in historical fictions, plus the medieval Moldova era or setting is not talked about much in historical fictions. So yes, this book gives a fresh perspective, but when it comes to the characters and when it comes to the language of the book, it does not deliver at all. The two main characters of this book are Mira and Elena, and I expected these two characters to be strong, but unfortunately nothing landed for me. The romance between the two characters was underdeveloped as well. I felt like I was being told that these two people have already fallen in love, but I was not shown how these two people actually fell in love, and that didn't work out for me at all. The next thing that I did not like about this book was the language. I mean, if I am reading a historical fiction, I should expect a richer language, but this book was modernized and I did not like that. Not only the main characters, but also the supporting characters felt one dimensional with no depth, and that hindered their impact in the story. The main focus of the story was based on love, loss, and societal expectations. Now, even though these themes were heavy, but none of these themes were explored properly. Also, if someone is looking to read this book, please go and read the trigger warnings because there are some things that might trigger some people. And even though the cover of this book is very beautiful and flowery, the underlying themes of this book is rather very dark, so be aware. Overall, Set in Stone's idea was absolutely amazing. I mean, who doesn't want to read about strong female characters, especially in historical fictions, fighting for their love and freedom? But everything in this book was underdeveloped, starting from the character development to the forced romance to the underdevelopment of all of the themes that were the main fundamental pillars of the plot, and that definitely hindered my experience while reading this book. Will I recommend this book to someone? No, there are better books with the same premise and strong female characters and with plots that are actually executed amazingly, and I will suggest you guys to read Christine Hanna's books instead and give this book a skip if you want to. The next book definitely came as a mixture of surprise and disappointment because I had a lot of expectations from this book and a lot of people have recommended this book to me to read, but unfortunately, this book did not land well for me. And the book I'm talking about is The Rosable Line by Ashwin Sanghi. I have given this book 2 stars. This book is a historical thriller with intrusion of modern elements in it, and this book explores the hidden connections between ancient religion and modern day conspiracy. As a priest discovers a secret that is so dangerous that can change the entire world. This book starts very strongly with all of the elements that you might like in a historical fiction thriller, with good elements of historical fiction, religious themes, and a conspiracy element. This story is unpredictable and engaging. Engaging only because the writing style of this author is absolutely amazing. The only thing that was missing from this book was the thrill. The twists and turns did not actually feel like twists and turns, and I majorly missed any kind of thrill or any kind of jaw-dropping moment or any kind of situation where I feel like, yes, I am reading a thriller. It was absolutely missing from this book. At some point of time, I was confused whether I was reading facts or whether I was reading fiction, and that feeling was not good at all. The author was trying to portray that every religion out there has been originated from India, and okay, if there are researches and if the things have been proved or at least given hypothesis about, then it is understandable. I am still confused whether it is fiction or is it reality. It is not something that I want from a thriller, to be honest. One thing that I noticed in this book while reading was this author's writing style is so influenced or inspired inspired by Dan Brown. And when I went to Goodreads and checked, there are so many people who have said the same thing. And I feel like while taking inspiration from a renowned author, this author kind of lacked his originality. But I can also put this book in a pedestal of doubt because this was a debut novel. And with respect to debut novels, this book definitely is written beautifully. Personally, I do not like only information dumping when it comes to thrillers, and Dan Brown does that. And hence, I do not like Dan Brown's books. And also, I did not end up liking this one as well. There was once a time where I was confused who the main characters are, who the secondary characters are, what are the names of all of the characters, because there were multiple characters, multiple timelines. I was confused as hell. I did not feel any kind of connection with any of the characters in this book, which is obviously possible because there were so many characters that I was not given my time with the main character in this book to form any kind of emotional connection with. Hence, I will suggest this book to people who love reading books by Dan Brown. Then you will love it. But if you are someone who is not a fan of Dan Brown, then skip this book. There are other thrillers that I will be talking about in this video only, which I absolutely loved. So you can skip this one and let's move on to the next book. I am so glad to say this, that this is the last book that I did not like reading in this month. And the book I am talking about is The Murder Game by Tom Hindle. I have given this book 2.5 stars. This is a thrilling mystery set in a secluded seaside town where a murder mystery party takes a deadly turn, revealing hidden secrets and dark motives. This murder mystery party is suddenly taking a dark turn. Setting is absolutely unique and it was very intriguing to read about. The author was able to put twists and turns in this book that made me stay glued to the story. This book definitely had the element of who has done it, like a Agatha Christie novel, and multiple secrets and a complex motive. The mystery is ultimately solved in a satisfactory ending, and I liked that in this book. However, the only thing that lacked in this book were the characters. I did not connect with any of these characters, and the characters did feel one-dimensional. The thoughts of these characters could have been more varied and engaging, avoiding any kind of repetition, but it was lacking in this book. The pacing of this book was another thing that I did not like. It was very slow. However, since I am a seasoned reader, I ended up reading this book. But for early readers or beginners, this book definitely will make you fall in a reading slump. If you are someone who is starting to read thrillers or is willing to try thrillers, then this is not the book for you. And if you are a seasoned reader, then you might end up liking this book because of the premise. But I expected more from this story. I expected more thrill. I expected more depth in the characters, and unfortunately this book didn't work out for me. From now on, I will be only talking about books that I loved reading, and I feel like 3 and above 3 stars in 5-star rating system is a good rating. So I am really glad that I am done with all of the bad books that I read this month. Let's move on with the first book in the good pile. The first book that I liked reading in this month is My Husband's Wife by Jane Corey, and I have given this book 3 stars. This is a gripping psychological thriller that explores the dark secrets of a seemingly ordinary family as a young lawyer becomes entangled in a dangerous web of lies and deception. The best thing about this book was, even though this book is a thriller, but the plot and the storyline and the way the author has executed the story does not seem like a thriller at all. This book was more like a family drama, and I absolutely ate this book up. I loved the character development in this story. Each and every character in this story had dimensions. There was significant character growth, and I loved reading about all of them, especially the 2 main characters. This book is a slow burn thriller, and the plot unfolds slowly with all the twists and turns, which are actually not that jaw-dropping, but they do impact the story in a good way. Since it is a thriller, the characters are definitely morally grey, and I loved that about the characters. Everyone in this book had some motive, and it was justifiable from the character's point of view. However, certain plot points seemed far-fetched and unbelievable, but it's okay, it's fiction. I was not satisfied with the way this book ended. Overall, this book is a good thriller with elements of love, deception, family dynamics, family drama, and with unlikable characters that I generally love when it comes to thrillers. The skillful writing style of this author will make you stay glued to this book, and this book is definitely for people who are seeking for slow burn thrillers that are more character driven, and I will definitely recommend this book to you guys. Now we have come to the most common rating that I have given to majority of my books in the month of September, and the rating is 3.5. So the first book that I have given 3.5 stars to is Assistant to the Villain, and I loved reading this book. This is a hilarious and heartwarming tale of a woman who finds herself working for a notorious villain, navigating office politics, forbidden romance, and a dangerous conspiracy. The absolutely best thing about this book was the banter between the 2 characters. because I loved that. And I do have a soft corner for the villain in this book. The plot goes seamlessly in this story, but I do feel like there were some instances or incidents that could have been explored in a better way. If there was more in depth exploration in those parts, then I would have loved this book more. The author's humor and sarcasm creates a beautiful banter between the two main characters, and that was definitely memorable. I laughed my hearts out while I was reading this book. The first best thing in this book was the villain, the second thing was the underlying conspiracy, and the third thing was the ending of this book. The cliffhanger was absolutely amazing, and once you have read this book, you will definitely go and pick the second book in this series, and the book's name is Apprentice to the Villain, which is in my TBR. Since this book is a young adult romance, the romance between the two characters was very sweet. There were no spicy scenes, no smut at all, and I loved that in this book. So if you are someone who is looking for good YA recommendations with sprinkles of humor and romance, and you falling in love with the main villain character of this book, then definitely check this book out. You will love it. The next book is a novella, and it is a prequel to A Good Girl's Guide to Murder series. I am talking about Killjoy by Holly Jackson. Again, 3.5 stars. This book explores the origin of Pip's passion for solving mysteries as she tries to solve a murder mystery game conducted in one of her friend's house. This novella was super fast because look at the thickness of this book. Absolutely amazing read. Holly Jackson's writing style is again very addictive. The mysterious setting of this book was also really nice. There were also some elements of horror in this book, which I also loved. Yes, this book is nowhere close to A Good Girl's Guide to Murder series, but definitely once you read A Good Girl's Guide to Murder series, you can always come up to read this book and get into the beautiful world of Pip's mind. Refreshing, definitely. Palate cleanser, yes, definitely. A quick thriller to read, yes, for sure. Grab this book up. The next book that I have given 3.5 stars to is Wildfire by Hannah Grace. This is the second book in the Maple Hills series, and this book is a sizzling romance story between two camp counselors who are forced to confront their complicated past and navigate a forbidden relationship. Sounds very interesting, right? Trust me, the story is better. Russ and Aurora are the two main characters in this book, and yes, you do not need to read the first book in the Maple Hills series to read this book, but if you do, then you will get small glimpses of the past characters in this book. So yes, I will definitely recommend you to read Icebreaker first and start this book, but if you don't, then that's also completely fine. The characters of this book are so well developed. Plus, I love the fact that in Hannah Grace's books, there is no miscommunication. The two characters sit and talk, and that is absolutely amazing. I hate miscommunication when it comes to romance novels. So happy that it was not present in this book. Not only the romance, but the characters had so many layers in their own personal lives. They were dealing with some very complex issues, and by the end of the story, that was the only thing I was not satisfied about. I wanted more family complexities because the issues the main characters were dealing with were not small. And when the ending came, it was rather very rushed and it did not quench my thirst. Apart from that, I really loved the summer camp vibes of this book. I really loved the development of romance between the two characters. I also loved how the two characters talked about their insecurities and how these two characters overcame their insecurities. Absolutely loved this book, and I will highly recommend you guys to read this book only if you are okay with smut, because this book has a lot of spicy scenes. So be aware. And if smut is your cup of tea, then definitely check this book out. How can I read a children's fiction and not like it? The next book that I loved reading was The Whisper Wakes by Jordan Lees, and I've given this book 3.5 stars. This is a captivating tale of magic and mystery where a skeptical boy embarks on a perilous journey through a magical world to discover the truth and his own identity. Not only the cover of this book, but this book has so many beautiful illustrations. I mean, look at this. How beautiful it is. And when it comes to children's fiction, you can expect amazing writing, you can expect amazing storytelling, you can expect amazing characters, and this book delivered everything. Not only that, the magical world of this book was absolutely amazing, very refreshing, but I also felt like there were few elements that were taken inspiration from Harry Potter, and there is nothing wrong with that. The execution of the magical world and the systems in the magical world was something that I have no complaints about. The imagery of this author and the way the author has portrayed the world, the plot, and the creatures in this book was absolutely amazing. I loved reading every page of the story. This book can turn dark pretty quick, but it is not as dark as adult fiction. It is dark with respect to children's fiction. So if you are looking for a good children fiction recommendation, then definitely check this book out. If you like Harry Potter, then definitely check this book out. If you like magical systems, something unique, then definitely check this book out. Now we are entering in the four ranges in terms of rating. Get ready, grab some paper and pen, write down the recommendations, guys. The first book that I loved reading in the month of September was How to Kill Men and Get Away with It by Katie Brent. Absolutely hilarious plus thrilling. This is about a woman who finds her fascination in murdering people, and this book has also themes of love, friendship, and revenge. Kitty Collins is an influencer, and her character is very complex. Definitely morally dark, because it is a thriller. Definitely, she will make you question a few things that you have done in your life. This character draws the readers to the world of revenge and murder, and the author has executed that in a absolutely amazing way. Not only that, all of the supporting characters, from Kitty's friends to her partner, everybody had personalities, everybody was well developed. Absolutely loved reading about the side characters of this book as well. One moment comes in this book that will make your jaws drop to the floor. I was shocked while reading this segment, and I also want you guys to experience that. Please go and read this book. This is one of the best thrillers I have read in 2024, and it is very uncommon to put humor and thrill together, and the author has done it very beautifully. This book definitely deserves appreciation. Please go and check this book out. I was excited for this book for the entirety of September, and I read it in the later parts of September. And the book that I'm talking about is The Only One Left by Riley Sager. This was my first Riley Sager novel, and this book did not disappoint me. I have given this book 4 stars. This is a chilling gothic thriller that unravels the mystery of a family massacre, where a caregiver tries to take the secrets out from the only woman who survived in the incident. The atmosphere of this book was dark, unsettling, and I loved that. There were vivid descriptions of the mansion, the eerie surroundings, and the jump scares of this book was absolutely amazing. The best thing about this book is the premise of this book, and I am not telling about this premise because I want you guys to go as blindly as you can when you are starting to read this book. Trust me, guys, it will help you enjoy this book more. Both of the main characters in this book were complex, and my god, the ending of this book, wow. There were revelations in steps, and every time I was getting shock after shock after shock, and I loved it. I loved it. The last 50-60 pages of this book was absolutely amazing, and not only that, throughout this whole book, there were twists and turns that will make you stay glued to the book. Absolutely amazing book. I will highly recommend this book to each and everyone who is watching this video. The next book is a cult classic, and I am talking about 1984 by George Orwell. I have given this book 4 stars. I absolutely loved reading about this dystopian world, which is still very relevant, where anything and everything nowadays can be governed very easily, and there were things that I could relate so much in this book. Absolutely amazing. I want to tell you guys a few lines from this book that I feel like you will also resonate and relate to. Get ready, because this one line might make you pause this video and think what you have just heard. Until they become conscious, they will never rebel, and until after they have rebelled, they cannot become conscious. There's more. Who controls the past controls the future. Who controls the present controls the past. And yet the past, though of its nature alterable, never had been altered. Whatever was true now was true from everlasting to everlasting. It was quite simple. All that was needed was an unending series of victories over your own memory. I do not know what to say about this book. I already knew that I will end up loving this book, and I did. The author has delivered everything. Everything that you can expect from an amazing, thought-provoking book. This is one of the books that is a classic, but it definitely does not feel like a classic. It did take me time to finish this book because every other page was revealing something, and I was just absorbing things, and that process was taking time. Amazing experience. This should be at least the one classic that you have read in your entire life. Please go and buy this book, enjoy it, savor it, make your mind work, and thank me later. The next book that I read, and it kind of put me in a small reading slump, because this book was devastating to read. I was not okay after reading this book. And the book that I'm talking about is Girl in Pieces by Kathleen Glasgow. Grab some tissues and start reading this book, because amazing storyline. The way the character of this book is struggling, oh my god, even now I'm getting goosebumps. Even now my eyes are filling up when I'm talking about the main character of this book, because she deserves every happiness. And I don't know why, but I felt so emotionally connected when I was reading this book. I was rooting for the main character like she is my sister. Absolutely amazing writing, absolutely amazing development of character, and This book will make you think about the royalties that you have in your day-to-day life that not only me but all of us take for granted. Do yourself a favor, go and read this book. I highly recommend it. Overall, this book is all about hope. If you are feeling low, if you are feeling down, then please pick this book up. This book will, yes, destroy you, but for good. The next book that I gave 4.5 stars to is again a Holly Jackson's novel, and the book's name is The Reappearance of Rachel Price by Holly Jackson. I love this book more than A Good Girl's Guide to Murder series. Guys, do not hate me for that. So this book is about a daughter's quest who is trying to find out why and how her mother disappeared, and then again when her mother reappeared, she started questioning all of the things she knew about her family, herself, and her mother. This book is all about lies and deceit, and I absolutely loved reading this book. The final revelation of this book was something that I could not have guessed in million years, and I loved it. I loved it. A Good Girl's Guide to Murder series is dark in a different way, and this is dark in a different way, and I love this one more because the characters in this book were more matured. The complex family dynamics and you not knowing whom to root for, who is good, who is bad, why that person is good, why that person is bad. The confusion stays till the end of the story, and I love that drama. Absolutely amazing. The best thing about Holly Jackson is her writing style. Oh my god, she knows how to play with the emotions of the readers. Otherwise, I don't understand how she ends up writing such beautiful thrillers and such complex characters with such complex thinking in the very first place. I could have never even thought about a concept like this. Absolutely amazing. Chef's Kiss, go read this book. The next two books have changed my life. One of this book is definitely on the top 10 books that I have read in 2024, and one of them is among the top 10 books I have read in my entire life. So get ready. I will be talking about one of the best books that I have read in 2024, and the book's name is Hotel Magnifique. Wow. Guys, this book was so beautiful. This book has magic. This book has mystery. This book has dark themes. This book has sisterly love. This book has forbidden freaking romance. Oh my god, what more do you want? Plus, this book is a young adult, so there are no spicy scenes. Kids, if you're watching this, buy this one. Okay. Also, people are comparing this book with Caraval, and I am now more excited to read Caraval because if Hotel Magnifique can be this good, I cannot even wait to read The World of Caraval because this one, Chef's Kiss. The writing style of this author was absolutely amazing. The characters of this book were so good. You will try to choke the villains. That's how bad the villains were in this book. And it is very easy to write good characters, but it is very difficult to write villains and make the readers hate the villains as much as the author wants you to. And this book definitely solves it. This book came as a surprise to me and it just blew my mind away. I simply experienced each and every emotion that a human being can experience while reading this book, and I loved it. Loved it, loved it, loved it. I will love to read it this book again in the future. But for now, this is definitely among the top 10 books that I have read in 2024. Absolutely amazing. And this is the sign for you to go and buy this book. I will be ending this video with one book that has changed my freaking life. This book has literally made me stay awake till 4:35 in the morning and continue reading because this book was not letting me go and sleep. Oh my god, I have not experienced that in such a long time. I was so happy that I finally got a book that made me love reading again. This is one such book that made me realize why I love reading so much, and the book that I'm talking about is A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. Oh my Maas lady, what have you done? What have you done to me, to all of the readers who have read you? What is this book? First of all, I won't be talking anything about the story of this book because this is the second part in A Court of Thorns and Roses series, and everything that I say about the characters or the plot will be considered as a spoiler. I won't do that because I want you guys to read this book. If you are someone who is wanting to start reading, or if you are someone who wants to rekindle their hobby of reading, then definitely this is the book for you. Absolutely amazing. Plus, I will suggest you guys to listen to the graphic audiobook while reading this book. That will change your whole experience of this book. Absolutely amazing. And to the people who have read this book, guys, what happened in chapter 54? Oh my god. I will forever remember chapter 54 of this book. Oh my god, it was so good. This book has everything. Everything, from the toe curling romantic moments to the forbidden romance to the tension connection between the characters to politics and family drama. Definitely. The best thing about this book was this book has more politics than romance. And the way it is done, oh my god, the way this book is written, the intricacies of the different codes, the intricacies of the different characters, their hidden motives, the consequences of their actions, everything, each and everything is covered by Miss Lady Mask. The way this book has ended, I cannot even wait to see what the story is going to be. I am so excited for the next book because the next part is going to be something. I have this inkling, and this is the best way I could finish this video. Absolutely amazing book. Please go and read this one. So here we are, guys. I have finished all of the books in my September TBR, and I have read 5 more books, which is absolutely amazing. This month was amazing in terms of reading, but I did feel burnout. So I will take a few days break. It is 28th of September. I have done with all of my reading. I'll just sit and chill for a few days now. And from 1st October, I'll start reading again. What were your favorite reads in the month of September? Let me know in the comments down below. If you liked watching this video, then consider liking this video. And if you liked any of the videos and you are considering to read any of the books that I talked about in this video, then please go and subscribe to my channel. This really motivates me a lot to create more bookish content. And thank you so much, guys, for supporting me. Keep on supporting, and I will see you guys in the next video with a new reading challenge. Till then, bye.